Hello, welcome to my channel. It says I'm live, so let's hope I am. So, if you're new, hi, welcome. I'm Katie, and this is where we discuss true crime, politics, and current affairs. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, that good stuff. And little fella, hello. I can't guarantee he'll stay with us for the entirety of the broadcast, but you never know. So, where shall we start today? It's quite a bit I want to get through. Shall we go with this one? I think we'll go with this one. Yeah. Now, is it sharing the right one? Yes, it is. Okay. So, this was published Sunday, the 9th of November. Today is Monday, the 10th. Are you done? Do you need to go down? Okay. So, more than 500 migrants in small boats cross channel in single day. A total of 503 migrants crossed the English Channel in a single day as the government considers a major shake-up of the country's immigration rules. The latest arrivals came in 7 small boats on Saturday, with more crossings from France on Sunday. It brings the total for the past 3 days to 1,772, and for the year so far to 38,726, up from 32,119 at the same date last year and 26,699 in 2023. So in other words, it's increasing year on year. More people were photographed in Dover on Sunday being brought ashore on a border force vessel while wearing life jackets and some wrapped in blankets. The arrivals in the Kent port come as Shabana Mahmood is understood to be set to announce a major shake-up of Britain's immigration rules in the coming weeks, with changes modelled on the Danish system. The Home Secretary sent officials to Denmark last month to study its border control and asylum policies, which are seen as some of the toughest in Europe. Its tighter rules on family reunions and restricting some refugees to a temporary stay are among the policies being looked at. Mahmood wants deterrents in place to stop people seeking to enter the UK via unauthorised routes, while making it easier to remove those who are found to have no right to stay. Sources said she was eager to meet Danish Immigration Minister Rasmus Stoklund as soon as possible. So that's just a brief look at the current immigration issues in the UK, shall we call them that? It's been going on for years and it's an absolute joke. And we are holding immigrants in prison in the UK who have committed crimes in the UK rather than sending them back home. Personally, I am in favour of just sending them back home once they commit a crime, but maybe that's just me. Next, we will discuss a bit of Europe. So, Paris court orders former French President Nicolas Sarkozy's release from prison, but he's not quite free. So this was released today, November 10th. A Paris appeals court decided to release former French President Nicolas Sarkozy from prison and place him under judicial supervision. He didn't stay in there long, did he? Monday's announcement today came less than 3 weeks after Sarkozy began serving a 5-year sentence for criminal conspiracy in a scheme to finance his 2007 election campaign with funds from Libya. Sarkozy will be banned from leaving the French territory, the court said. An appeal trial is expected to take place later, possibly in the spring. Sarkozy, aged 70, became the first former French head of state in modern times to be sent behind bars after his conviction on September 25th. He denies any wrongdoing. He was jailed on October 21st, pending appeal, but immediately filed for early release. During Monday's hearing, Sarkozy, speaking from Paris's La Santé prison via video conference, argued he has always met all justice requirements. I had never imagined I would experience prison at 70. This ordeal was imposed on me and I lived through it. It's very hard, he said. Sarkozy also paid tribute to prison staff who he said helped him through this nightmare. Sarkozy's wife, supermodel turned singer Paola Bruni Sarkozy, and two of his sons attended the hearing at the courthouse. Monday's proceedings didn't involve the motives for the sentencing. Still, Sarkozy told the court he never asked Libya's longtime ruler Gaddafi for any financing. I will never admit something I didn't do, he said. In French law, release is set to be the general rule pending appeal, while detention remains with exception. Judges weighed whether Sarkozy presents a flight risk, might pressure witnesses, or could obstruct justice. Almost done. Advocate General Damien Brunet, who represents the public interest, asked for Sarkozy to be released and placed under judicial supervision. That request granted Sarkozy was expected to leave Paris La Santé prison within hours. The former president, who governed from 2007 to 2012, faces separate proceedings, including a November 26 ruling by France's highest court over illegal financing of his failed 2012 re-election bid and an ongoing investigation into alleged witness tampering in the Libya case. In 2023, he was found guilty of corruption and influence peddling for trying to bribe a magistrate in exchange for information about a legal case in which he was implicated. France's highest court, the Court of Cassation, later upheld the verdict. This is from CBS News, by the way. So Sarkozy has had some legal troubles before, by the look of it. And let's just say he is lucky that the French are still not doing what they did in the revolution. And we will go on to this one next, because the one I want to share for the end is interesting. But I saw this today. So it looks like it was published yesterday, which was Remembrance Sunday here in the UK. There's only one poppy the Canary team will be wearing today. And it won't be the red one that props up British militarism, whitewashes colonialism, and glorifies war. I was following the Canary UK. I saw them as, yes, they were left wing, they're controversial, they don't care about what they say, they just say what they think. Fine, cool. I can, but this I can't. The red poppy does not glorify colonialism or war. It just doesn't. I understand where the white poppy is a pacifist, not a problem. You're opposing war, great, of course. We all do. Personally, yes, I am a pacifist. I would prefer no one to go to war. But as you can see, I commented, this post is disrespectful to the men who had no choice but to fight in World War One and World War Two. That's who the red poppy is also for. Fuck off with your virtue signalling. My granddad had no choice. He was called up during World War Two. These men fought for you to enjoy the freedoms you do, and this is how you show your appreciation. Shame on you. Nothing to add to that. So my granddad passed away a long time ago. So, but I still miss him. And he never spoke about the war. He never spoke about it to my dad. He never spoke about it to my nan, his wife, who's still alive today, recently turned 100. I tell everyone that because she's amazing. But my granddad never spoke about it because of, I assume, the horrors that he saw during World War II. That is who the poppy is for. The poppy is for us, mostly the men that never came back from any war. And this is how you thank them? By making it about fucking colonialism? Fuck up. You are that opposed to Britain. Go live somewhere else. Go live somewhere that has never been colonized. I mean, you're going to find it hard to find somewhere that's never been. Go there and see what freedoms you have there. See if you're allowed to host this sort of crap. See if you're allowed this sort of freedom of speech. I'm not asking them to support war because clearly I do not. But what am asking is for them to show respect for the men and now women that put their lives on the line, often losing their lives to keep us safe, to allow us to have the freedoms that we do. Be wrong, we have issues. I ain't saying it's perfect, but this is not okay. This is completely disrespectful. The white puppy itself, I have no issue with. It's the message that they, the canary, have put behind it, and it's a disgrace. Take your fucking virtue signaling and fuck right up. We should have warned you at the start, I swear, a lot. So that's my little soapbox moment. The final one we're going to discuss today, if it will show me the headline. Wow, that's so Tim Davie resigns as BBC's Director General, with CEO of BBC News also stepping down. This is an absolute shitstorm at the BBC, and I'm here for it. I'm not gonna lie. So is it gonna? There we go. So Tim Davie has resigned as the BBC's Director General after 5 years in the role, with Chief Executive of BBC News Deborah Turness also resigning. It comes as the corporation is expected to apologise on Monday, today, and hold your horses, we have that apology, following concerns about impartiality, including how a speech by US President Donald Trump was edited in an episode of Panorama. The concerns regard clips spliced together from sections of the US President's speech on 6 January 2021 to make it appear he told supporters he was going to walk to the US Capitol with them to fight like hell in the documentary Trump: A Second Chance, which was broadcast by the BBC before last year's US election. Mr. Trump responded to the pair's resignation on Sunday night, describing Mr. Davie and Ms. Turners as very dishonest people who tried to step on the scales of a presidential election in a post on his Truth Social platform. We'll check how long this was. This was quite a long article. I'm going to go through the whole thing. I No, I haven't yet. I have written about it for my Substack. I haven't published them yet, but we will get to it. Don't worry. Ms. Turness told staff the ongoing controversy around the edition of Panorama has reached a stage where it is causing damage to the BBC, an institution that I love. She added, "The book stops with me, and I took the decision to offer my resignation to the Director General last night. In public life, leaders need to be fully accountable, and that is why I am stepping down. While mistakes have been made, I want to be absolutely clear. Recent allegations that BBC News is institutionally biased are wrong." BBC Chair Samir Shah called it a very difficult day, thanking Ms. Turness and crediting her with having transformed the corporation's news output. And then it goes into people's reactions. And yeah, there. But I have the so-called apology that Mr. Shah sent to the um, Culture, Media and Sport Committee in the House of Commons. Here we go. Now, this is 24. We ain't going to go through on this one. If you want me to go through all of it, let me know. I'm thinking to do it in sections rather than do the whole thing in one video because 24 pages is a so today, November the 10th. So it goes to show. Please see attached a letter to and the committee. You will be aware of the resignation yesterday of both Director General Tim Davie and CEO of BBC News, Deborah Turnis. As I said in my statement yesterday, both have shown unwavering support, oops, sorry, that was my mouse, and commitment to the BBC. Tim Davie has been an exceptional Director General and leader, not just of the BBC, but of the UK creative industries. He has led the BBC with great integrity, enormous talent, and extraordinary resilience, transforming the BBC to serve all its audiences. Deborah Turnis has been an outstanding leader of BBC News, who, during unprecedented times, has led the operation with real commitment and a clear vision of the future. I am immensely grateful to both Tim and Deborah for their service. I and the BBC board remain committed to doing everything we can to ensure a smooth transition as we appoint a new Director General and strive to move forward to serve all our audiences and secure the BBC's future. The BBC will be making both of these letters public. That isn't an apology. I hope he's not claiming it is. I'm assuming this is the so-called apology. So how long was this one? That one again was quite long. So I've highlighted some bits. BBC's Editorial Guidelines and Standards Committee, the EGC. So Mr. Shah wanted to put on the record the BBC's position on a number of issues that were raised in the leak of a letter to the BBC board from Michael Prescott, who is a formal external advisor to said EGSC. The letter is attached. So what did I highlight? Here we go. On top of these specific stories, the EGSC also identified concerns about underlying problems, for example, in the Arabic service for long-form journalism. These two areas have been discussed at length at the EGSC and action has been taken to tackle this kind of problem. The BBC Arabic team has been restructured. A new Arabic-speaking head of editorial quality and standards has been appointed in the World Service, and the new social media research unit has been set up to verify those who appear on the service. In the UK, BBC News have appointed a new executive editor of editorial quality and standards to oversee domestic news output. BBC News will imminently appoint a new director of news documentaries and long-form journalism who will oversee current affairs output. That is in response to allegations that the BBC Arabic team, the news that they put out, was very biased in regards to the conflict currently going on in Israel and Hamas, Palestine, between Israel and the Hamas people. We'll leave it at that and we'll carry on. But that's what it alleges. And according to the memo that was leaked, it's definitely a bias. Hopefully that will improve. And I'm going to try and stay calm. In the memo that was leaked, there was talk about how the LGBTQAI plus 2ZX crew on the news desk had massive influence on what was reported in regards to trans issues and gender critical issues. There's a pretty big section in the memo, and this one bit that you can see I've highlighted with the yellow, that is it. That is their only address towards women's voices, towards the trans bias. They have literally one fucking line on the review of sex and gender identity. EGSC noted much of the coverage met the BBC's standards of impartiality and accuracy. It is not impartial to describe a man as a woman. It is not accurate to describe a man as a woman. Now, I'm going to show you some examples now. This is their alleged impartiality and accuracy. Transmedic view female changing room for you. One. Rose Henderson, a biological male who identifies as a woman. Great, wonderful, marvellous. They use female pronouns, okay, but signed a letter of rejection to her use of alleged conduct within the changing room. No, no, we don't refer to them as she, as her. We just refer to them as them. I'm not asking you to refer to them as he, which a lot of people would require or ask for, but don't refer to them as she or her. Here's another one. Transgender woman jailed for deception, sex assault. I mean, catfishing or what? But transgender woman lied about being a biological female, and the victim said he would not have consented to sexual activity if he knew that Watkins was a biological male. So Watkins, from 69Ps, had claimed the man would have realised her status. Again, not a her, but a sexual predator, I would argue. So Watkins, who was referred to in court by female pronouns, told the man she was on her period. She was biologically male. That is not accurate and that is not unbiased. Again, let's go to another one. So, February 2025, transgender woman, born male, identified as a woman. She was due to attend. No, no, stop it. Not accurate, not unbiased. Again, trans woman sentenced 6 years for rape. C. Seka raped a woman. The attack took place before Seka began identifying as a woman. They've been ordered to carry out her sentence in a male prison. Throughout the sentencing hearing, barristers refer to the defendant as she. Like, no, it's not accurate, it's not unbiased. And another one, trans woman jailed for sex with 14-year-old girl. And a trans woman, this actually is that makes me really sad. So this was November 2022. A trans woman who groomed and had sex with a 14-year-old girl, making her pregnant, has been jailed. So luckily they've been put in a male prison. So this 25-year-old identified as a woman at the time of the offences, but they were not able to give current gender identity. Why he, it's a man. Again, another one. Trans woman in Devon jail for arranging sex with fake underage girls. Ugh. Jessica Smith, 41 of Exeter. She admitted to 3 counts. No. She arranged. No. No, no, no. This is not unbiased and this is not accurate. Again, trans woman. Ugh. Now called Davina, she will be sentenced. Remanded her into custody. She would be held in a male prison. Not unbiased, not accurate. Transgender woman, 71, killed their partner. This is the transgender woman. So this is a he. Their partner was a transgender man, therefore a she. So therefore, this is male on female violence, right? That is just a fact. Miss Roland Stewart, she was given. No, she previously told police she has acted in self-defense. This is not accurate. This is not impartial. So bollocks to your explanation. This this one right here that I've highlighted. One line, one fucking line about women. Sorry, maybe I should calm down. And on that note, I think we will end. I've shown again, if you want me to go through all of this, I have highlighted more. So let me know if you want me to read the whole letter or the whole alleged apology, which isn't an apology, and I will happily do that. But thank you very much for watching me. This has been my first live for a long. Fingers crossed it all went well and it actually like streamed to where I wanted it to stream. I have been wanting to see a female perspective on British political and current affairs issues. And I find one. I found one, and it's two women sharing their opinions on current topics. Fair enough, wonderful, but it's not my thing because they talk over each other, and it's not helpful for me. I prefer this kind of setup where it's one person who gives you the headlines, gives you the news, and then gives their opinion. Like Megyn Kelly, whilst I don't agree with everything she says, don't be calling me whatever you call her. I like that type of setup. I trust what she says most of the time. No, yes, I trust what she says because she always has receipts. I don't always agree with her opinions or her how she understood what the facts were. I often disagree. We all interpret the facts differently, but I appreciate her honesty. So, if you like this kind of setup and you want a British perspective, maybe make that me. And like, comment, subscribe. Come follow me on my Substack. It is free to read, but I have put a paywall behind the audio versions of posts. Everything else, it's free to read. It's free to come follow me here on YouTube and on all the social medias. And I would really appreciate your support. And I thank you very much for hearing me ramble on. And apologies for getting a little bit sweary. And hopefully, I'll be talking to you soon. Leave comments, by the way. Let me know what you think about the topics we have discussed. I would very much like to hear what you think. And also, if you want me to cover the full BBC apology that is not an apology. See you in the next one. Bye.